Prime Minister announces several investments to help propel the economy. Permanent memorial to honor the victims of slavery unveiled. And the Prime Minister supports young athletes at the 2015 Boys and Girls Champs. This is Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller used her budget presentation last week to announce several investments which are expected to improve the island's economic standing. For the bauxite industry, she announced that bauxite extraction had resumed at Alpart in Main St. Elizabeth on March 23. The plant will begin hauling bauxite to the port next month.
The company has already employed 40 people and has committed to hire an additional 70 persons by the end of this month, and is on track to hire 250 people in total for the duration of the project.
The expansion of the Kingston Container Terminal is also gaining traction, as Cabinet approved a concession agreement with the preferred bidder. The contract will be signed on April 7, allowing Terminal Link CMA-CGM Consortium to finance, expand and operate the Kingston Container Terminal. And the Prime Minister also announced in Parliament that those who murder pregnant young women will soon face harsher punishment before the courts. She says the law is being amended to allow for stiffer penalties when a girl is murdered and the perpetrator knew she was pregnant.
This is to be treated as an aggravating feature in determining the sentence imposed by the court, so that the murderer receives significantly harsher punishment in the form of a longer sentence. Provisional gross foreign exchange earnings from tourism between January and December 2014 was in excess of $2.2 billion. The sector for the quarter ending December 31, 2014 grew at a rate of approximately 6%, and this was achieved even while a number of rooms were out of service.
Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller making reference to some positive developments in the tourism sector in 2014. She was speaking at the official opening ceremony of the Hyatt, Ziva and Zilara hotels at Rose Hall, St. James. Mrs. Simpson Miller also reiterated government's promise to build the economy while improving the quality of life for all Jamaicans.
As we move to achieve this goal, we have kept sharp focus on creating a more vibrant economic environment in our country for businesses, whether small, medium, or large, local or foreign. Our goal is to facilitate win-win investments that will bring you a good rate of return and also create the jobs we desire for our people.
And the Prime Minister journeyed to New York last week for the unveiling of the permanent memorial to honor the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade at the United Nations headquarters. She urged the peoples of the world to band together to end all forms of modern-day slavery.
I want to mention particularly child labor and human trafficking. This must stop. May we use this memorial to say no to all forms of racism, discrimination, and intolerance, and maintain the fight to end racial discrimination and injustice wherever in the world they exist.
While in New York, the Prime Minister also participated in a UN General Assembly plenary meeting to commemorate the March 25 International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery. And the Prime Minister, along with her Minister with Responsibility for Sport, Natalie Nita-Headley, supported the island's junior athletes on the closing day of the ISA Boys and Girls Athletic Championships.
They have been doing so well. And while the established schools are still doing well, there are some schools now from rural Jamaica that are doing very well, and I'm so proud of them.
Just a continuation of what has been fantastic about our athletics program in Jamaica. It just augurs well for the future. I am seeing where we can continue to dominate the sprints for a very long time.
Calabar High and Edwin Allen High successfully defended their titles as the winning boys and girls school. And that's it for this week's edition of Jamaica House Weekly. Join us next week for the latest from the Office of the Prime Minister.